Chapter 6. Return to Ground Zero. A few days later, Greg sits in his room. He's painting again, but he notices how everything he's painted seems to go back to spiders. That's weird. He hasn't listened to The Cure in weeks. The Cure? He vaguely remembers a book called The Cure, but he doesn't remember much about it. Just that it had to do with music. But spiders? Why spiders? Along Came a Spider? The Alice Cooper album? Damn good album. Why is that sticking? Transformation like the narrator tried to transform his victims into spider legs? Buffalo Bill. Yeah, just saw Silence last week. No, spiders. The bite. The spider bite, recluse but radioactive. What was happening in that lab? He picks up his leather jacket, walks out and lights up a cigarette. Greg goes back into the forest. The fog is thicker this day, more ominous. He has questions about the abandoned lab. That's the funny thing about Greg. Once some thoughts enter his head, he can't escape thinking about those thoughts until he gets the nagging out of his system. As he makes it to the lab, he notices an old car. Perhaps from the 70s. GTO. It wasn't there before. Was it? Oh hell. He can't remember. Well, it's beat up and old. Shame. It's a cool car. Still, there's something else going on. He sneaks in. He scurries about. Why are his movements so different? Greg sneaks in. Nobody around. He uses a mini flashlight. Project Spin. He gets a small camera out. Takes pictures of everything he's seeing. He hears voices. Older. Like they've been around the block. Hopefully he can hide in the cover of darkness. As he backs further and further into the darkness. Funny thing, the darkness. How it protects innocence from evil discovering it. But then again, innocence is a relative term? Innocent to a criminal? Perhaps. Innocent to a newborn? Hell no. Greg decides to reveal himself if there's talk on regulations and government stuff that he doesn't care about. But so far, the chit-chat shows a little agitation. Bad sign. He sinks further into a wall hidden in the shadows. Doesn't have a choice. Thank the Lord that there aren't any spiders on this wall. The guy's voice is talking. He notices that his hands stick, and he can't even freak out. To make it worse, as he hears the footsteps approaching and backs up further into the wall. His feet stick, he starts to move up the wall. What the hell is happening to Greg? He never asked for any of this crap. But no time to freak. And that's when he sees two guys drag another pair of guys into the lobby while he's hidden in the shadows. The captors are dressed as old-time hoods while the captives are dressed like modern-day thugs. Nobody's saying anything intelligible, but he does pick out one phrase, pumpkin venom. The captors sit the captives down and pull out syringes. There's a sense of pride the monsters have for their test subjects. The thugs should be rejoicing for being a part of this experiment. It's the new class of criminal that Wolfsbane's been waiting for. They're given the pumpkin and they're acting aggressively to the point that the captors brutalize each other, literally to death. With what's happening, there is no way that Greg could reveal himself. He could feel every punch, every kick, every squeeze, every choke. Blood flies all over the place until one is left standing. The other lies dead in a pool of his own blood. One of the mobsters shoots the last man standing. Apparently, captives leave. He waits a few minutes to make sure that they leave. He rushes out there and runs up to his room as he shakes in fear of what he saw, of what's happening in his body. Hands trembling as he lights up a cigarette. He looks at the figure of Lon Chaney as Phantom that he bought a long time ago. Chapter 6.